Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Now, as a United fan since the 90s, I always grew up hearing that if a player leaves United, the only way to go is down. And the only way you do go up is if you go to Real Madrid. But it's about time we wake up, smell the coffee, and realise that that era has well and truly ended, and United are not that team no more. There's many players that came in recent years that either did better before they came or after they left, and in some cases it's both. So let's take Jadon Sancho for example. Before he came to United, he was right up there with the world's best wing forwards in terms of numbers and performances. He comes to United and he plummets. The numbers go right down and his performances are way off. Now when you look at his numbers, he actually got 18 goal involvements in 83 games, which is very, very poor for a player of his standards. Very poor. But then he leaves United, he goes to Chelsea on a season-long loan, and he gets 15 goal involvements in less than half of the games. So he's free off his tally in less than half of the games. Surely that can't all be on Sancho. And then you look at Antony, and basically the same thing happened. His numbers at Ajax were impressive. He was also performing well at Ajax. Then he comes to United and that plummeted. And he goes on to get 17 goal involvements in 96 games. But then he leaves and goes to Betis on loan. Bear in mind he only had half a season at Betis. And he managed to get 14 goal involvements in 26 games. That's 3 off his United tally with 70 games less. What's going on here, people? And then I looked at Scott McTominay, and with Scott McTominay you can only do it after. You can't do it before because he started at United, obviously. But when I looked at that after, and I realised that at United it took him 255 games to get 37 goal involvements. He then goes to Napoli and he gets 20 goal involvements in 38 games. Now, either these players were being played out of position, they were being used wrong, they were given the wrong instructions, they weren't confident, they didn't have the right relationship with the managers. There could be several reasons, but one thing I'm not willing to accept is it was just down to them. It can't be. It can't be. When this same pattern keeps reoccurring, it definitely can't be just to do with the players. Do you know what I mean? Because there's only one common denominator here. But yeah, man, even more than that, when you really look at it, not only are they doing better as individuals, but they're going to teams that are doing better. So let's look at Sancho again. He went to Chelsea. Well, first of all, he went to Dortmund on loan and ended up in the Champions League final. Then he goes to Chelsea, finishes top 4 and ends up winning the Conference League. Marcus Rashford, he leaves out on loan, goes and gets his form back a little bit, plays some good Champions League games with Villa and ends up getting a move to Barcelona. Albeit it's a loan, but it's Barcelona. Way better than United. Scott McTominay leaves, goes and ends up winning the league, and on top of that, cements a place on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. Who would have thought that? McTominay, Ballon d'Or shortlist. United was using him as a 6, mate. Then you look at Antony, ends up at Betis, ends up coming in the top 6, and he's so impressive that they go in for him again this year. And there's several other players as well. And when you keep looking at these patterns and realising that players are doing better elsewhere, you have to properly question what is going on at Carrington and at Old Trafford. What is going on? I don't know the answers. I'm not sure many other people are going to know the answers. But what I do know is that myth is well and truly gone. It's over with. Do you ever think that we'll get that back? Do you ever think United will become that team again where when you do leave there's nowhere else to go better than United? Or do you think them days are they're done now and that Verge era we'll never see again? I hope that's not the case, but I think it will be. And I think this idea that we have to keep one manager stems from the fact that we had a legend like Verge But I think that's the thing that's holding us back most right now. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments. Like, share, comment and subscribe.